Hello, I'm John Blackmore, and this is a video tutorial about setting up a Raspberry Pi 4 for Education 3752 with Dr. Tom Kennedy. So let's get at it. The first thing we're going to look at is a micro SD card. Now, this is what the OS for Raspberry Pi is going to be installed on, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Not every laptop or computer will come with a slot for this. You might need to use an adapter. Pretty simple, you just want to make sure that these golden teeth are in sync with the teeth on your adapter. Pop it in. Now, for me, I'm using a MacBook Air 2020, don't have slots for either of those things, so I have a dongle. This will go into my USB slot, and it's pretty neat. It's got USB drives, and it's got HDMI cord. It also has a slot for both the micro SD and the adapter. So I don't even need the adapter. I'm just going to pop mine in. Do it very quickly for you here. I'm going to insert my chip like this, and once I put this dongle in the drive, I'll be ready to go. So here we are on the course website, which has a list for all our software needs. We can easily navigate to the Raspberry Pi installer from here. Download it. And here is the Raspberry Pi imager. We want the 32-bit. And the choose storage, our SD will appear here when it's in our computer. Once that's selected, the right button will appear and we can press to install the drive on our SD card. Alternatively, if you don't want to use the Raspberry Pi imager, the Raspberry Pi website provides other downloads. You can even use a torrent. The 32-bit and the desktop version are both available from clicking on the list. Alright, now that the micro SD has its OS, we're going to pop it in the Raspberry Pi. We want the golden teeth facing down, label out, find this metal slot in the Pi, fits in nice and snug, very easily. I've already got my Raspberry Pi encased in plastic. Basically you want one layer of plastic on the bottom, and then on the second layer the Raspberry Pi will fit very snugly. You want to have opening for the ports, the USB ports here, and the micro HDMI. The ribbon cable is going to flow out of these ones here. Next is our T-bar, T-cobbler. So this is going to connect to our ribbon cable, but first I'm going to insert the T-bar in the breadboard. So these pins are pretty delicate. Definitely don't want to rush this part, just going to make sure that they line up nicely, and then they'll sit pretty flush. They'll sit. So now that I have all the pins lined up, just a bit of gentle pressure, pretty easy. Same thing with putting the ribbon cable on the T-bar. I'll take my time with this because I do not want to bend any pins. So now I can easily see that the pins on both sides have lined up with holes. I don't think my camera quality is good enough to show that, but I can see that the first row of pins are good, so then it's just a matter of gently pressing down. And there we have it. Now we want to set up our mouse, keyboard, power supply, and monitor to the Raspberry Pi. Pretty simple, honestly. So this part of the Raspberry Pi is, it's got 4 USB slots. So this is the wireless insert for my keyboard. This is for my mouse. The HDMI mini HDMI cable to the monitor that the webcam is currently on top of. We'll go here. Now that I have that done, the power source. This power cable has an on and off button. So keep that in mind when you are powering it on. The slot for this is right next to the HDMI, mini HDMI port. And now our Raspberry Pi is ready to go. All right, there you go. You're all set up now with your Raspberry Pi. You can start into some fun activities. Thanks a lot for watching and take care.